Welcome to the Creative Playing Podcast Network. Join us as we review our favorite RPGs, collectible card games, MMOs, video games, PC games, and bring up interesting topics and things that we'd like to share with everyone. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Every day, dungeons are forced to euthanize adventurers because the cost to provide urgent or ongoing clerical health care is too high. A stray adventurer may be brought in with a broken leg, or a halfling is surrendered because it swallowed something and requires surgery that the family cannot afford. Your donation of just a few copper pieces a day can make a difference in our podcast's life and keep us making content for you. Please, check out our Patreon site at patreon.com/cppn to help us, even if it's just $1 a month. Every copper helps. Your support for the CPPN is greatly appreciated.
Welcome back, folks. It's August the 31st. PGADAY Challenge is best advice you were ever given for your game of choice. Kelly, what you got?
Well, let's see here. For Scion, I would have to say the best advice I was given is that given that you have to try and stunt things up, you have to come up with stunts, get style points, get extra dice, to help you make that goal. The best advice I had when faced with, well, what the heck, what stunt do I come up with? How do I do this? Is try to imagine you're in a John Woo film. What would John Woo do? And that helps. It's like, because then you're thinking the whole crazy stunts and stuff like
crazy
that.
Flying through the air with your guns a-blazing.
Exactly,
what would Woo do?
Exactly, what would Woo do? I think that's probably, if I were to pick for Scion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I have to think for Dresden. Well, how about you while I'm thinking?
Okay. So, the best advice I would say, especially since I GM most games, is have fun. A lot of folks get all hardcore tied up into the story, which is good because it means you're totally immersed. But remember to make sure you're just having fun. A lot of folks, the type of personalities, they like to metagame to win. Make sure you're having fun too. Like in games, when setbacks happen, it's just a story element that's been added. It's not a negative thing that's happening. It's sit back and
when
just have fun.
Killed off Carrie's husband's character?
I did.
Carrie's character's husband.
What Kelly's referring to was in Ragnarok, a Scion hero to Ragnarok adventure. Her husband wandered off, and she didn't keep track of him. And when husbands wander off, what happens. And after he returned to her, 7 little dwarves shot him and blew his head off right next to her, and she literally screamed.
Went ballistic.
I kid you not. I had to tweak the volume down and cut a few minutes out of it. But she had, 7 minutes of her screaming,
she going
no,
gone apoplectic, going, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. He better not be dead. Turns out he wasn't. It was actually
spoilers. I was going to make them listen to the podcast to find out.
But it's literally, she just went apoplectic.
And it was so beautiful because I had this whole moment set up where he was dropping to his knee and giving her a new wedding ring because she gave it away to save earlier in the stories some people. And as soon as that happened, that's when his face exploded. She's
her sacrifice.
And she was like, what? No, I'm serious. His head just exploded like a shotgun blast. And you see
There's
van
red
with the
mist all over you.
And I completely got her from left field. She didn't see the bus coming.
Yeah, here's describing this so romantic moment where he's replacing the ring that she sacrificed to save people. And what?
His head go boom.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yep.
It was funny and tragic all at the same time. But she got so wound up in the story and stuff, and it's but she said under no circumstances you're ever allowed to mess with her character's family or...
Her first mistake was telling the GM, "You're not allowed to mess with my husband or my children in game." I'm like, really? Oh, really? Let's see how this goes since I play the world and you play your character. So,
And now, to be fair, you didn't mess with them. You met, you bent the rules enough, But
so what she's implying is, spoiler alert, I killed a doppelganger that was going to kill her, not her real husband.
yes, but oh my God, it's like you had to say it's just a game. It's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
And
for the rest of you, by the way, the rest of the room was having a blast watching her go crazy, shouting and pointing and screaming, getting red in the face and yelling at me. The rest of the group had fun. I had fun. Somewhere deep and down, I think Carrie was still having fun. But the most important advice I have out there is, especially for GMs, have fun, because the GM job is so difficult. You're spending hours outside of game, hours inside of game. You're trying to fight your own insecurities to make sure everyone has fun. Make sure you're having fun in the meantime, because that's the easiest way to prevent GM burnout, is have fun. Remember, you're playing with the players to make a cool story. You're not an antagonist against them. You're playing with the group to have fun.
You have to provide challenges,
Yep.
otherwise it's not going to be fun. It's just going to be a walk in the park. Although that can be fun.
Yeah.
But it's a very challenging job that you have.
Yeah.
And if you don't have players that are, willing to work with you, then, I mean, that brings everybody down. If we have to, oh my God, Will Wheaton created that shirt that said my sword glows blue in the presence of a rules lawyer. That's blue because we're all blue in the face from holding our breath, going, God, just let's get on with the game.
Because you do have those moments that stall and become not fun. So as a GM, you got to make sure that you keep injecting the fun factor if need be to get it back on track.
Yep.
Like even if you ever watched, earlier this week we talked about PAX. Acquisitions Incorporated. Will Wheaton. His Eladrin.
Oh, God, yeah.
And a pool of acid. And every time you say acid, his character still screams. So he's making sure to keep his situation that happened a fun thing, even though it was a sad thing. It was a fun thing.
Yeah.
And hey, bad thing happened, and it motivated the next episode of PAX that they had the next year. It became a crucial key story element, and he got to play Mr. Stinky.
But yeah, I know. I actually think that's a really good advice. Just remember,
fun.
It's a game.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. Don't be the Monopoly player who everyone ever wants to play Monopoly with. It's a role-playing game. You're supposed to get together and have fun. Even if emotions get tense, remember, you're there to have fun. I mean, that can be fun too. I mean, no offense as a GM, if I get a rise out of somebody, I'm having fun at that point because I'm realizing, yes, they're into the game that deeply. They care that much. When you're punching me after your drow slit the throats of little elven girls, you are having fun in your own twisted way.
I'm so scarred after that game.
Yep.
Trying to play an evil character was traumatic, but I did it.
Yes, you did.
I did.
I was
what
so
would that
proud. What would that drow
priestess
do?
She would, yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna those
What would-
moon elves.
Uh-huh.
You made me do terrible things.
But you know, as horrible as it was, you had fun playing it.
Flambe. That was the code word to activate the wand of fireballs.
Yep. Fireball
to this day,
of flambe.
I remember that.
Yep.
Flambe.
Which means you must have had fun at that game.
I did.
Even though you're all dirty, rotten scoundrels.
I know, I'm so horrible. I played evil too well.
So is there any other best advice you've thought up during that?
Always bring your dice. Always bring paper and pencil.
Yeah. GMs appreciate when you have your own dice, definitely. Unless you're playing games like Edge of Empire, Age of Rebellion,
and
or
always
Force of
remember
Destiny.
your character. Kind of hard to play when you don't have it.
Yeah. Best advice, I want to throw an second best advice. Take pictures, if you have a smartphone, of your character sheet, so that way if you forget it, you have it on your phone, since most people have their phone at least. I actually do that with a bunch of my players to make sure we have a copy on hand, so that way, if need be, I can send Arlene, the goddess of our game store,
Yes.
the picture of the character sheet, which she can then print up, and then the player has his character sheet in case of emergency. And it's also good if you do pickup games at your local game store. I've got my character on my phone. But you may want to like text that to your GM to make sure he's got a copy of it too.
Yeah. That's only polite, actually.
I always like that if they send it to me first. That way I know I can wrap the adventure around the character as opposed to here's the adventure, throw the character in.
Exactly.
Hope your character has coping skills for this adventure. Alrighty, that's a couple good pieces of advice, but I definitely want to stick with have fun is the best.
Is the main one.
What about you?
I really like that. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that is the key, most crucial thing. It's like, if you're not having fun, why are you playing?
That's a really good point.
No.
Yeah. So this concludes the RPG a Day challenge. It's been a long August.
It has. It's been a really busy August.
Yeah. Sadly, it was a really short time since the last RPG Day challenge, it seems. Seems like it just happened a few months ago.
I know.
Alrighty, guys. We hope you really enjoyed this. And if you have any feedback, by all means, send us an email at creativeplaypodcast@net@gmail.com.
Questions, comments, anything.
Yeah. Or hit us up on the Facebook, because we're always on the Facebook. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for listening. Hey gamers, Jim here from Creative Play Podcast Network. If you're in the Tucson area this September and October, I've got a special message for you.
Hey, this is Karen from RinCon. We are having our convention from September 30th through October 2nd here in Tucson, Arizona. Come out and play every kind of game under the sun with us. We've got role-playing, board games, minifigs, CCGs, we've got Artemis, we have panels with special guests, and this year the theme is steampunk. So get out your, dust off your dirigibles, get out your chapeaus and put them on, come on down.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.